Alright, today's InDesign session is about adding effects to photos. We've put photos on a page before, but we're going to make them look a little fancier by adding some special effects to them. And so that's what I want to show you here today. Now, first of all, a peek in InDesign. This is the kind of thing that we're going to do. Each one of these photos has a little bit of an effect applied to it. Some are easier to see than others. As I go through the demo, you'll be able to see them fairly well, I think. These pictures, these close-up pictures of these flowers, most of you have them in your Insight Files folder. If you were absent when I sent them, you won't have them, but you could use some other pictures. You have to have 5 pictures, and you could use anything that's school appropriate, so you can use pretty much whatever you want there. If you want to use the flowers, you can, or you can use something else. I'm going to hop back over here to my website. On my help, well, it's not actually, don't have it posted at the time of making this movie, but once you're watching this movie, there will be this handout on my help page. So you're going to make a new document, and I've got all the setup instructions right here. I'm going to demonstrate it. You'll need the effects window, so I'll show you how that all works. All right. You're going to have to put some photos on the page. Now, like I said, I gave you copies. Most of you have copies of those close-ups of those flowers, so you could use those if you want, or you could use something else. School-appropriate images, that's fine. And this is about applying the effects, and I'm going to demonstrate that for you. So once you've done this, it's 5 photos on one page. You apply an effect to it, or each photo, and then you turn it in on Schoology. And it will be posted on Schoology at the time that I'm making this movie. It's not, but it'll be InDesign project number 4 on photo effects. All right, so it'll be posted on Schoology for you. All right, so that's going to be on my help page, and let's go to work here. I'm going to go over here to InDesign, and this is the sample document that I had loaded up, so I'm going to close that. I'm going to close this too. All right, so here's how you're going to do this. Here we go. Make a new document. All right, File, New Document. You can turn off facing pages. It's not a big critical deal because we're only going to do one page anyway. So we just want number of pages is 1, turning off facing pages. And you can set the orientation either way. That's really kind of up to you. Do whatever you like. Just for this movie, I'm going to do landscape, I think. Just it's going to fit a little bit better. But you do whatever you want there. Portrait, landscape, whatever you like is good. Click OK there. And you have a page that is ready to go. Remember that all of this is on the handout, so what I just did was create the new page. All right, back to InDesign here. Now, on the window menu, I'm going to want this effects panel right here. All right, so I'm going to click on that, and a little panel is going to open up, and I can place it wherever I feel like I would like to place it. Doesn't really matter a whole lot, just put it somewhere. You're going to need it. Okay, that part's easy, right? Looking back here at my handout, that's the workspace setup. I got my effects panel open. Now it's time to place 5 images on the page. School appropriate images. All right, well, this won't take long. This is pretty easy, right? I'm going to go File, Place. I am using my pictures here. I got to get to the right folder. I am using these pictures of these close-ups of these flowers, so I'll just start with flower number 1 here, and I'm going to open that and drag that out about thusly. Make them whatever size you want. I'm going to do an auto fit on that. That's good enough for right now. I'll come back and do more to that later. Now, remember before you place another photo, deselect that. You don't want this frame to be selected when you go to place your next photo. Be careful about that. File, Place. And I'm going to get my second flower and open that up. And again, I'll just kind of drag that out roughly to the size that I want and do an auto fit on that picture. Great. All right, here we go again. I'm going to go to File, Place. Oops, didn't deselect that, did I? File, Place. Get my next one. It's going to be in the middle, a little bit larger, kind of like that. And we'll do an auto fit on that. Okay, great. And deselect and File, Place, and here comes number 4. Open that up. We're going to squeeze that in, and it can overlap a little bit if you really want them to. We're going to do an auto fit like that, and you can kind of move them around. Just get them arranged on the page however you feel like you want to. And one more time, File, Place, and put that in about there. Going to do an auto fit on that one. Always a good idea to do auto fit on a picture. That way you can resize them more easily and they behave a little bit better. All right, got a little arrangement of 5 photos here, looking good. Now it's time to put some effects on the photos, and exactly what effects you use are going to be up to you, but here we go. Select the picture that you want to work with, use your effects panel, and on this object I'm going to come here to FX, this little button right down here, and I'll just click and decide what I want to add. Now here's the thing. I want something a little bit different on each one. All right, and you can do combinations. So I could do, let's say, I'll start off with a drop shadow here. Now there is on the effects panel, there is a preview checkbox here. So you're probably going to want to, we've done this kind of thing before, like in Illustrator and everything. You're probably going to want to turn that on if it's not already turned on. And then you can play around with all, like the offset has to do with how far the shadow is away from the picture. So you see, if you look carefully, as I am clicking this offset and changing its value, you can see the shadow kind of moving around. There's a color for it right here, and there's a blend mode for it right here, and there's an angle for it right here, and a size, and a spread, and a noise, and so you can experiment as much as you like. Noise adds kind of a little grainy look to it. If you look over here at my drop shadow, it kind of looks grainy now because I added some noise to it. So you work with those options, and this is another day when I say, when you're happy and you know it, click OK. When you like it, you just go ahead and click OK and you got it. Oh, I got to click OK to finish. All right, there we go. So that one's done. I added a drop shadow with some noise. So let's pick up the pace here and move on. I'll click another picture here. I'll go to the effects button, and let's say I want to do an outer glow on this one. All right. Now you may have to kind of move things around so you can see it a little bit. And right now this has got a white outer glow. Well, gosh, that's probably not going to work very well. So I'm going to pick a different color for the outer glow, kind of a pinkish color. Will be all right with me. And then again, you play with like how big do I want that outer glow. And if you'll look behind this panel, you'll see the glow is building back there. I can add some noise to it. I can add some spread to it if I want to. So I'm getting an outer glow on that picture. It's kind of a pink color. You can play with the blend modes. They'll do different things. The opacities. You can play with all of that. Click OK when you got something you like. Look, I've got a glow around that picture. On this one, I think I'll click the picture. I go to the effects button. I think I'll do an inner shadow on this. All right, so I'm going to bring up the opacity a little bit. You kind of do it the way you want. I'm going to go to normal on my blend mode. I'm going to increase the size of this and the choke of it a bit. And I'm getting in the inner shadow, depending on your pictures, a little hard to see, but around the top and left edge of this picture, there's like this dark shadow that makes it look like it's dropping in there. And so I've got these options set up pretty nicely, and I'll go ahead and click OK there. All right, I'll select my next picture. I'll go to the effects button, and again, you're just going to kind of play and experiment with the things that you want. A basic feather this time. Well, I'm going to preview it here, and I think I'll increase the feather width. And what you might be seeing, if you look closely, is that it's getting really soft around the edges. That's kind of a cool effect that I got going on there, and you can choke it and play with noise and things like that and just get all kinds of different effects. All right, so there we go. Going to click OK on that one. And one last one to go. Now, the other thing to think about, and I haven't done this yet, so I want to throw this out here. I'm going to click on this picture, and I'm going to add an effect. And let's say that I add a bevel emboss on this picture. I'm going to move this over a little bit. And again, you can play with the size of the bevel, the soften, play with anything that you want. Right? Play with any settings that you feel like you want to play with. But then, here's the deal. You could combine them. You could combine effects. Right now I've got a bevel emboss. Perhaps I would also like to add an outer glow. And I can make it some other color, like maybe a blue color. And bring up its opacity some, and bring up its size some. And bring up its spread some. And it's a matter of playing with it. You have to kind of play with it. Right. If you'll look right underneath this panel, you'll see that there's that little bevel emboss effect, plus I've got a glow that's starting to go around there. So the thing I want you to see here is that you can you can combine effects. You can add as many as you want to the same picture. I'll click OK there. And now what I've got here is 5 pictures that all have some kind of effect applied to them. Shadows, glows, feathers. Here's a combination. Yay, I did it. So when you're done, you're going to save as, get to that old network drive, and I would just call this could be called InDesign number 4, or it could be called like Photo Effects. That would not be a bad name for it either. All right, so I'm on my network drive. I called it a Photo Effects, so go ahead and save that. And then, like I said, at the making of this movie, I don't have it posted on Schoology, but by the time you're watching this movie, it will be posted on Schoology and ready to rock and roll for you. Hey, that's the assignment. 5 photos, 1 page. Every photo has an effect applied to it. You'll need to use that effect panel that you get from the window menu right up here. Have fun. Have at it. Off you go.